Hello friends, it's Hasnat and Jim from Talkwell. I understand the fact that it's been a while, a long while to be honest, since we last posted something genuine and something powerful. But in the meantime, I can assure you that we have been working on something that is actually going to help you to talk well. So before wasting any of our time, let's get started. Last time we talked about the basic components that would help you to actually learn English and master English as a native language. And I believe they must have been helpful for you if you actually adopted them. I believe they must have actually assisted you and maybe geared you up and maybe actually ignited you to learn English. But now that your journey has begun, I'd like to actually introduce to you certain strategies that you could adopt in the sideways to catalyze your process, to actually speed up and to actually fasten your vehicle right now. So let's get started. The first and the foremost thing is that it is very basic, very fundamental, and very important as well. It is called immersion. I want you to immerse yourself in English totally. This is something I want you to do for your own good. This is something I want you to do to actually catalyze your own journey, because when you immerse yourself into something, you actually get to learn a lot of things about that something and you actually understand what's happening around you. So by immersion, I mean surround yourself with English, totally and utterly English. I mean, I want you to listen to English, write English, read English, and speak English. These are the 4 steps we talked about last time, but that was actually all about immersion. Actually, that is something you could go and rewatch that video if you want, but that will be all about immersion, and I am not going in any certain details about that because that is something we have already discussed. But now I would actually like to tell you that along with immersion, what you need to do is something very different. These are the strategies that we're going to talk about. So first of all, make your schedule. Make a timetable. You have 24 hours in a day. You need to at least utilize 1 or 2 of them consistently to actually get to know what's happening around you, to actually master your journey and become an expert in English. So 1 or 2 hours a day should be enough. But the timetable is very necessary. The schedule you make for yourself and the fact that you follow that or not, that's very important. That's very fundamental as well, because if you don't get to follow a disciplined method to go through your way and to go through every single obstacle there is to offer and to actually go to your journey, there will be no special outcome. There will be nothing as expected, because nothing is going to go as expected as long as you don't discipline yourself, you don't act on a certain timetable, and you don't make a certain timetable for yourself. So you need to actually work on that as well. This is something I should have told you in the beginning, because this is something very basic, and I think none of you can get the expected results, and none of you can actually master anything if you don't act on a certain schedule. In fact, there's a very famous quote by a very famous man, Elon Musk. He said that a fool with a plan can overtake a genius without a plan. So if you have a plan and a goal, you could literally outgrow someone who does have the same goal but not a plan. So you need to understand this. You need to plan certain things. You need to strategize all of your efforts. You need to actually put them into schedule, and you need to put them into a certain pattern that you follow very, very strictly. So this was all about the timetable. This was all about the scheduling, and this is a very important strategy, and this is a very fundamental and a basic strategy you need to adopt. Now, moving on. What I want you to do is to make achievable goals. If you want, you can make a list of achievable goals, but they should be achievable. And by achievable, I mean that you should not literally point yourself to the top and just move blindly. That's not what I want you to do. What I want you to do is move in small steps. Going through a mountain top from stairs is way easier than literally hiking all of it all the way around. So this is the very fundamental proof that you need to actually understand the importance of small steps. So you need to set goals for your daily routine. Set your daily tasks. They should be in your range. They should be achievable. They should be actually adoptable, and they should not be something that is way out of your controls, that is something way out of your range. Actually, you should actually go for it, and you should actually be able to master at least that task that you have set for yourself for that day. This is something very important. Seriously, you need to strategize certain things, and by strategize, I mean you need to understand the importance of not hastening and not running towards success, but actually walking towards it, and walking towards it with very patience. Now moving on towards the next strategy. This is recording your progress. You need to understand how far you've made. Unless you don't understand how far you've come, you will never ever understand how far there is to go. How long you have to still walk, and how long the journey is to do right now. So you don't actually get to understand that unless you don't know how far you have become. What you are becoming day by day, you should know. You should actually get to understand that what you're doing every single day, if you're following all the components, all the steps, including all the strategies, you need to understand that it's bringing changes in your life and your personality and your mind at the same time. And you need to actually perceive your own self. You need to understand that you are becoming a different person every passing second. Every single second of that 1 or 2 hours you give every single day, every single strategy you're using right now, this recording your progress, this is very, very important. So I want you to keep track of your progress. I want you to actually record your progress every passing day, every passing hour, to be honest, because you need to know what you're slowly becoming, and you need to know where you're getting every single day. Last time we discussed about speaking, and we only discussed that you need to speak English, and you need to learn, and you need to actually emphasize every single thing that you've been learning for so long. You need to speak that. You need to let it out of your mouth. But how so? That is the question right now. Now the question is, what strategies should you go for if you are at the speaking part, if you are on the speaking stage, and if you are able to actually speak right now? What should you do? How should you strategize all of that? Now what I want you to do is find one person, just one, in your friend circle or in your surroundings, in your everyday life, that could actually speak English as good as you, or better than you, or even worse than you. No problem. You need to speak to them. You need to speak to him or her, and you need to actually emphasize, and you need to perceive all the words you've been learning so far. You've been working on your vocabulary, your accent, your fluency, every single thing. That should come out as a whole when you speak, and that should be implemented, that should be used. This is the strategy what I've been talking about, okay? That should be used when you speak, because you practice. This is how you practice. This is how you actually understand that what you've been doing for the entire time. So this was all about the strategies right now that I want you to adopt along with the 4 basic components. This is not something that I want you to do afterward. This is something I want you to do in the meantime, whenever you're free. This is literally, you could do it anywhere, anytime, at any time of the day. Just go for it. And last but not least, I'd like to talk about certain statistics right now, certain things that you actually need to know. I'm not trying to tell you that's something from my side. That is not something from my end, no. According to the British Council, 70% of people who are willing to learn English, they prefer self-study methods. This is what I've been literally bragging about the whole time in this entire video, and we've been discussing this before as well, from the very beginning of this channel, I believe. The self-study method, I don't want you to join any certain academies, or maybe just stick your head in those 3-inch wide grammar books or stuff like that. No, I don't want you to do that. I want you to self-study. I want you to actually evaluate yourself by yourself, for yourself as well. I want you to do every single thing by your own self, on your own. That is something I'm talking about. And I believe if you go for them as a whole, at the same time, not one by one, at the same time, you will master English language, and you will learn how to talk well. Thank you very much.